I'm so happy you have joined today's live session. You are in for something truly special. We are not diving into heavy theories or long lectures today. Instead, we are going to journey through something timeless, powerful, and soul stirring. Can you know what can be the title today? Yeah, you can put your answers in the chat box. Yeah, it's very right. These are moral stories which gives very great life lessons. I once again welcome you all for this live session, and I hope this session will be useful to you all, enriching, and worthy of your time even. Let's see what we are going to talk. These are very simple stories, but don't be fooled by how short or sweet they may seem. These are stories packed with life's deepest wisdom. Stories that grandparents once whispered, monks reflected on in silence, and that many of us remember when life gets hard or confusing. Because here's the truth: stories transform. Stories sticks with us because it's easy to remember, so stories stick with us. They speak to our inner child. They touch our hearts. And most importantly, they remind us of who we really are when we forget. In this session, I will be sharing 20 powerful life lesson stories, each just 1 or 2 minutes long, but each one holding a key to a greater life. Some will help you to deal with failure. Some will teach you to let go. Some will show you the power of gratitude. Some will show you the power of gratitude, and some will remind you that your worth was never lost, only hidden. Whether you're a student, working professional, parent, or just someone seeking clarity, these stories will speak to you. All I ask in that you listen with your heart. Reflect on what each story means for you, for your own life. And maybe by the end of this session, one of these small stories will spark a big shift in you. So take a deep breath. Maybe choose your clarity. For that, maybe close your eyes for a second. Close your eyes for a second and feel I'm happy. I came across such beautiful stories which may help you to deal with either failure, let go, power of gratitude, and so on. So let us start the story session. So this was a brief part of what I'm going to talk about in this live session. Let me start with the first story. The Cracked Pot. In a small village, a water bearer carried two pots. On a yoke across his shoulders. One pot was perfect, the other had a crack and leaked half of its water by the time they reached home. The cracked pot felt ashamed. After years of guilt, it told the water bearer, "I'm sorry for being broken." The bearer smiled and said, "Have you noticed the flowers along your side of the path? I planted seeds there, and you water them every day." So meaningful and beautiful story. Listen, sometimes what we see as flaws are what make us most valuable to the world. So the cracked pot was feeling ashamed and guilt of the broken pot. But sometimes what we see as flaws are what makes us most valuable to the world. So let us be courageous and see our flaws and enrich our life by correcting them so that it becomes most valuable to the world. So don't feel guilt of your flaws. Just be courageous and make us most valuable to the world by your good deeds. Let's proceed with the next story, Elephant and the Rope. In a circus, a huge elephant was tied with a thin rope. A man asked the trainer why it didn't try to break free. The trainer replied, "When it was small, the same rope was enough to hold it. It believed it couldn't break free, and it still does." Listen, often it's not our limitations that hold us back. It's our belief in those limitations. So let's break the limitations and make our belief system so strong that we excel in our life. Just don't be bonded with the limitations and be a barrier there. So just come out, try to come out of it. The elephant, when it was small, was tried enough to break the rope, but it couldn't. As it grew older, it believed a belief system was developed in the elephant that it cannot break the rope anymore. So it's a belief system which is inbuilt and responsible for not able to come out of the limitations. So let us break the wrong beliefs and try to construct constructive beliefs or good beliefs so that we can enhance our life. The third story is the empty cup. A scholar visited a Zen master for wisdom. The master poured tea into the visitor's cup until it overflowed. "Stop, it's full," said the scholar. The master smiled. "Exactly. Your mind is full of opinions. To learn something new, first you must empty your cup." So big lesson. To learn something new, we must empty our previous content, which is not going to help anymore to have a new beginning. The lesson is true growth begins when we let go of our ego and assumptions. True growth begins when we let go of our ego and assumptions. The fourth one, the obstacle in the path. A king placed a heavy rock in the middle of the road and watched from afar. A king placed a heavy rock in the middle of the road and watched from afar, some far distant. Merchants, soldiers, and nobles passed by, cursing the inconvenience. But one poor farmer stopped, pushed the rock away with great effort, and underneath it he found a bag of gold with a note for the one who clears the path. So the note was, "This bag of gold is for the one who clears the path." So the merchants, soldiers, nobles passed by cursing the inconvenience. If they would have removed that rock, that bag of gold would have been theirs. But this poor farmer stopped, removed this rock, and found the bag of gold, and got a note in that it was written, "For the one who clears the path." He was so happy and excited. So let us not just be afraid of the obstacles in the path. Just either we need to have a high jump of that obstacle or need to just bypass the obstacle or to clear the obstacle instead of criticizing, feeling inconvenience for the obstacles in the path of the life. So every obstacle is a disguised opportunity. Every obstacle is a disguised opportunity. Just make it a good underline. Every obstacle is a disguised opportunity. Fifth one, The farmer's luck. A farmer's horse ran away. A farmer's horse ran away. His neighbors said, "So unlucky." Days later, it returned with 3 wild horses. Lucky, they exclaimed. His son broke his leg while riding one. Terrible. Then the army came to recruit, but left his son because of the injury. Good luck after all. So when the horse ran away from the farmer's house, the neighbor said, "So unlucky." When the horse came back, the same neighbor said, "Lucky." And when the son broke his leg, the neighbor said, "Terrible." And when, because of certain injury, when some army people came, they didn't take this boy because of the injury. Then the same neighbor said, "Good luck after all." So see, in the small story, what the neighbors are saying. First they said, "So unlucky," and then they said, "Lucky," then "Terrible." Good luck after all. So unlucky, lucky, terrible. Good luck after all. So the neighbors are going on changing their comments. Listen, don't rush to judge events. What seems bad today may turn out to be a blessing tomorrow. What seems bad today may turn out to be a blessing tomorrow. The next sixth story is the pencil story. A pencil maker told each pencil 5 things. You will do great things, but only if you allow yourself to be held, sharpened, corrected, and know that what truly matters is what's inside you. Lesson: life will challenge and shape you. Life will challenge and shape you, but your inner strength will always lead the way. Life will challenge and shape you, but your inner strength will always lead the path. A great moral. The seventh story is the starfish. I hope you're enjoying the stories and learning great lessons out of that. The starfish story. A boy walked along a beach full of stranded starfishes, throwing them back one by one. A man said, "You can't save them all." That boy picked up one another and said, "But I made a difference to this one." Lesson: even small acts of kindness create ripples of hope. The next one, eighth one, the 2 wolves. A boy told his grandfather, a boy told his grandfather he felt a battle inside between a good wolf and a bad one. Which one wins? He asked. The grandfather replied, the one you feed. Lesson: your thoughts and choices shape your inner world. Your thoughts and choices shape your inner world. It's not the matter of good thoughts erupting or bad thoughts erupting, worse thoughts erupting or negative thoughts erupting in the mind. Mind is a creator of thoughts. Is going on creating thoughts, whether it's a positive, negative, and so on. But it is you that you're feeding which thoughts. The next one, the ninth one, is the cookie thief. A woman at the airport thought the man next to her was stealing her cookies. She glared at him only to later realize her own pack was untouched in her purse. She had been eating his cookies all along. Lesson: don't judge quickly. Your perspective may be flawed. 10th one, the rope and the monk. A young monk tied a rope to a tree and practiced letting go whenever it was pulled. This, he said, is how I train myself to release anything that disturbs my peace. I repeat again. A young monk tied a rope to a tree and practiced letting go whenever it was pulled. This, he said, is how I train myself to release anything that disturbs my peace. Lesson: let go before life forces you to. Peace comes from detachment. Peace comes from detachment. Peace comes from detachment. Peace comes from detachment. The 11th story, carrot, egg, and coffee. A girl complained to her mother about life. The mother boiled carrots, eggs, and coffee beans. Carrots softened, eggs hardened, coffee changed the water. Which one are you? She asked. The mother boiled carrots. The carrot was softened. Eggs hardened. Carrot softened. Eggs hardened. And coffee changed the color. The mother asked the girl, which one are you? Lesson: in the face of adversity, do you break down? Soften means break down. Hardened up, like eggs get hardened. Or rise above and transform your world. As the coffee changes the color of the water, so in the face of adversity, will you rise above and transform your world? The next story is the bamboo tree. A bamboo seed is watered daily. A bamboo seed is watered daily. Nothing grows for 5 years. Then suddenly it shoots up 90 feet in 6 weeks. 6 weeks. Then suddenly it shoots up to 90 feet in 6 weeks. It was building strong roots all the time. A bamboo seed is watered daily, so it takes a long time to grow. So after growing the seed of bamboo, there is nothing for 5 years. Nothing grows for 5 years. And then suddenly what happened? It shoots up to 90 feet in 6 weeks. So what is this bamboo seed doing beneath the soil, under the soil? It's making its foundation so strong that it can stand erect 90 feet. It needs so strong foundation. Understanding? So we need to build our inner strength, our resilience very, very strong, which is the foundation of the life. So just don't get scattered, disturbed, distracted by some miscellaneous silly things, and spend that time and energy to bring for building a strong foundation. Like for example, we can say if a student is preparing for an UPSC exam, it may take some time for the student to prepare and come out with flying colors. If you can do in 1 or 2 attempts, some may take more attempts. It doesn't mean that they are not working hard or preparing or putting efforts for it. So don't just scatter, don't be disturbed. It needs some time to grow. So the bamboo tree is very, very powerful life lesson. The next one, the drowning man. A flood came. A man prayed for God to save him. He rejected a raft, a boat, and a helicopter, believing God would come himself. The God sent first a raft, and then he sent the boat. As the man, the prayer is becoming rigorous and rigorous, the God finally sent a helicopter for him. But the man who is praying couldn't understand that this is a helicopter is sent by the God. What he's thinking, God himself will come. So he rejected such offers and he drowned. In heaven he asked, Why you didn't save? God said, I sent all of them for your saving. You didn't accept. So one must be open-minded to receive the God's blessing, God's touching, to enhance and save ourselves. The drowning man, the flood, this is a good story. The jar of life. The next story is the jar of life. A teacher filled a jar with big rocks, then smaller pebbles, then sand. First, the teacher filled the jar with big rocks, smaller pebbles, and then sand. If I started with sand, there had be no room for rocks. The rocks represents your biggest priorities. So there are three terms used here: rock, pebbles, and stone. Rocks, rock, pebble, and sand. So what the teacher did, first filled the rocks, and then small pebbles, and then the sand. So what's the lesson of the story? The jar of life. The jar of life, then itself the answer is, fill your life with what matters first. Fill your life what matters first. So one has to fix their priorities. One has to know what their priorities are and give significance to it. So filling the rocks first means you're giving the priorities first in your life. The rest will find its place. So once the rocks are filled, the small pebbles will find its place accordingly, and sand will also settle according to the space available. So the jar of life story gives the essence, and the moral is, fill your life what matters first. Fill your life what matters first. Good story. The next one. I hope you're having good story time, which is valuable lessons even. 15th one is the frogs in the pit. A group of frogs fell into a pit. The others shouted, "You will never get out." All gave up, except one who climbed out. He was deaf. The frog which came out of that pit came out because he was deaf. He thought they were cheering up. The frogs which were out of the pit, they were saying, "You fell down into the pit and you cannot come out." As the frog which was inside the pit was deaf, this was seeing the actions of the frogs which were standing outside the pit. As they were going on shouting, the frog in the pit was thinking the other frogs are encouraging him. So by seeing those cheer-ups, he put all his energy to come out of the pit and feel so motivated that there are so many other frogs encouraging him, which made him to get motivated, boosted, and just jump out of that dangerous pit, which was impossible for him to come out. But those cheering frogs, so the frog could come out because it was deaf. So when you are trying for something, there will be few people who will say you cannot do, you cannot do. So just don't stop. Take those commands as your cheer up and try to come out and prove them that you can do it. So the frog in this story tells that one has to be deaf from the negative talk when we are in the path of achieving our goals, which leads to success. So don't be discouraged. So today we had a wonderful time with beautiful moral stories, giving beautiful, valuable, precious life lessons. We'll be doing the live session later. Till then, take care. Thank you.